And Ben-Hadad, the king of Aram, gathered all his army, and 32 kings with him, and horses and chariots. He went up, besieged Samaria, and waged war with it. He sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, to the city, and he said to him, Thus said Ben-Hadad, Your silver and gold are mine, your beautiful wives and children are mine. The king in Israel answered him and said, As you say, my master, the king, I am yours as well as all that is mine. The messengers returned and said, Thus said Ben-Hadad, As I have sent to you, saying, Your silver and your gold, your wives and your children, you shall give to me. But at this time tomorrow I will send my servants to you. They will search your house and the house of your servants, and anything you prize they will put in their hands and take it away. The king of Israel summoned all the elders of the land and said, Please realize and see that this man is looking to cause harm. For he has sent to me for my wives, my sons, and my silver and gold, and I have not denied him. All the elders and all the people said to him, Do not obey and do not consent. He said to the messengers of Ben-Hadad, Tell your master the king, All that you have sent to your servant at first I will do, but this matter I cannot do. The messengers went, and they brought back the message to him. Ben-Hadad sent to him and said, So shall the gods do to me, so shall they continue if the earth of Samaria suffice, for the footsteps of all the people who are with me. The king of Israel answered and said, Say, one who girds a sword shall not boast as one who ungirds a sword. And it was as he heard these words, as he was drinking, and he and the kings who were with him in pavilions, as he said to his servants, Lay on, and they laid siege to the city. And behold, a certain prophet approached Ahab, the king of Israel, and said, So said the Lord, Have you seen all this great multitude? Behold, I am giving them into your hands today, and you will know that I am the Lord. Ahab said, Which? Whom? And he said, Thus said the Lord, With the youths of the governors of the provinces. And he said, Who will command the battle? Who will commandeer the battle? And he said, You. And he counted the youths of the governors of the provinces, and they were 232. And afterwards he counted all the people, all the children of Israel, 7,000. And they went out at noon, and Ben-Hadad was drinking himself drunk in the pavilions, he and the kings, the 32 kings who aided him. And the youths of the governors of the provinces went out first, and Ben-Hadad sent out. They told him, saying, Men have come out of Samaria. And he said, If for peace they have come out, seize them alive. If for war they have come out, alive shall you seize them. And it was these who had come out of the city, the youths of the governors of the provinces and the army which was after them. And they killed every man his opponent. Arameans fled, and Israel chased them, and Ben-Hadad, the king of Aram, escaped on horseback with horsemen. And king of Israel went out, struck the horses and the chariots, and inflicted upon Aram a great defeat. And the prophet approached the king of Israel and said to him, Go strengthen yourself, and know and see what you shall do. For at the return of the year the king of Aram will come up against you. The servants of the king of Aram said to him, The God of mountains is their God. Therefore they overpowered us. However, if we fight them in the plains, you will see if we will not overpower them. And do this thing, remove the kings, each man from his place, and place officers in their place. You shall number for yourselves an army like the army that fell from you, and horse for horse and chariot for chariot, and we will fight against them in the plains. You will see if we will not overpower them. And he heeded them, and did so. And it was at the return of the year that Ben-Hadad counted the Arameans, and he went up to Beck to war with the children of Israel. The children of Israel were counted and provisioned, and they went to meet them. The children of Israel encamped against them, like 2 flocks of goats, whereas the Arameans filled the land. The man of God approached and said to the king of Israel, And he said, Thus said the Lord, because Arameans said that God of the mountains is the Lord, and he is not the God over the valleys, I will deliver all this great multitude into your hand. You will know that I am the Lord. And they were encamped opposite each other for 7 days, and it was on the 7th day that the men of battle drew closer, and the children of Israel killed of Aram 100,000 footmen in 1 day, and the survivors fled to Aphek, to the city, and the wall fell on the 27,000 men who had survived. Ben-Hadad fled and came into the city, into a chamber within a chamber. And his servants said to him, Behold, we have now heard that the king of the house of Israel are kindly kings. Let us put sackcloth on our loins and ropes on our heads, and let us go out to the king of Israel. Perhaps he will spare your life. So they girded sackcloth on their loins and ropes on their heads, and they came to the king of Israel and said, Your servant Ben-Hadad said, Please, may my life be spared. And he said, Is he still alive? He is, my brother. And the people took it for an omen, and they hastened and caught it from him and said, Your brother Ben-Hadad. And he said, Come and take him. Ben-Hadad went out to him, and he helped him climb up into the chariot. And he said to him, The cities which my father took from your father, I will return. You shall make streets for yourself in Damascus, as my father had said in Samaria. And I will, said Ahab, release him with this treaty. And he forged with him a treaty, and he released him. And a certain man of the disciples of the prophet said to his friend, By the word of the Lord, strike me now. And the man refused to hit him. And he said to him, Because you have not obeyed the Lord, who you depart from me, a lion will strike you. And he went away from him, and a lion found him and struck him. And he found another man, and he said, Strike me, please. And the man struck him, striking and wounding him. The prophet went and waited for the king on the way, and he disguised himself with his headband over his eyes. And it was when the king was passing that he cried out to the king, and he said, Your servant went out in the thick of battle, and behold, a man turned aside. And he brought to me a man and said, Watch this man for me. If you will be missing, your life will be instead of his life, or else you shall weigh out a talent of silver. And your servant was busy here and there, and he was gone. The king of Israel said to him, So is your verdict. You have pronounced it. And he hastened and removed the headband from his eyes, and the king of Israel recognized him, that he was one of the prophets. And he, the prophet, said to him, Thus said the Lord, because you have released the man whom I designated for destruction, from your hand it will be your life instead of his life, and your people instead of his people. The king of Israel went to his home, and sad and upset, and he came to Samaria.